welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer, Mary Trimble, here to talk about the new moon solar eclipse in Cancer coming up on the 21st of June. I'll also be talking about some astrological events happening in the celestial sky a little bit before and a little bit after the eclipse, so stay tuned. So everyone, the new moon solar eclipse is happening on the 21st of June at 2:41 Eastern Daylight Time. So wherever you are in the planet, on the planet, adjust the time accordingly. Now, this is the first solar eclipse of 2020. It's very exciting. Eclipses can be very intense at times. It is an annular solar eclipse. And what does that mean? That means that the moon is between the Earth and the Sun, and it's not big enough to cover the Sun's disk, and so it looks like a ring of fire, right? Makes me want to sing that song. And a ring of fire. Anyway. So the eclipse will be visible from mid-Africa, across the Middle East, northern India, and Southeast Asia. And as I said, this is the first solar eclipse of 2020. And the last time, okay, so the moon and the sun are in Cancer at 0 degrees. Now, 0 degrees is the world axis degree. So this will affect the whole globe. This is a very strong eclipse. And this eclipse has not happened at 0 degrees Cancer since June 2001. And you know, a lot of people associate 2001 with September the 11th. And we have had some drama this year already, and we may have more drama. It may not be like September 11th, but it is going to be kind of a world event that will affect us all in some way. So this is also known as the Aries degree, and Aries is a cardinal sign. Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn are the cardinal signs in the zodiac. This is about action, it's about motivation, it's about getting up, it's about doing things, it's energizing. And you know, the actual number 0 represents infinite possibilities. This, at the time of this eclipse, there are 8 planets in feminine signs. So it's a very kind of feminine energy. And the moon, Cancer is feminine. Cancer is sensitive, it's nurturing, it's the divine feminine. The moon in Cancer is at home and very nurturing and sensitive and intuitive, can read people's energy, perhaps so much so that it's very compassionate. So there's a lot of compassion around this time on the 21st. Now, this is going to create a big wave of feminine energy, and feminine is taking in, right? Masculine is going out, feminine is receiving. So we are going to receive this wonderful wave of feminine energy. And Cancer is very introverted energy, so it's about taking this energy in. Also, Cancer is about the past. So there is some sense of this being revisiting the past again. So think about what was going on for you in June of 2001. Think about what was happening at that time for you, because this is a revisiting of that energy, but with some kind of awareness and maturity. We're receiving it kind of differently this time. But I will say this is coming into us. It'll open up our hearts. And this is a brand new beginning, a big beginning. It's something new. It's kind of our heart's desire. So when we receive this energy, we open up our hearts, and it will activate what is desired within our hearts. Let me put it that way. So, we need to kind of take this energy in, and we're really going to need it because, a bit later on we have Mars moving into Aries for like 6 months. Now, I am recording this on the 18th of June at the exact time, early in the morning, at the exact time that Mercury goes retrograde. So this is about going within. Retrogrades, it's interesting because, let me just see this chart again. This solar eclipse is not aspecting any other planets. Some astrologers may argue that it's a loose square to Mars, but to me it's out of bounds. So it's not, to me, that's not interacting with Mars right now. But so it's kind of standing alone right next to the North Node and in Gemini. Now, so it's all conjunct, right? The North Node is conjunct Cancer, the Moon and the Sun in Cancer. New moons are always the Sun and the Moon together. So there's a sense that, the North Node has moved out of Cancer and has moved into Gemini. So it's moving away. It's kind of going, leaving Cancer behind. So there's an element of kind of moving on. And we have, at this time, we have Mercury retrograde in Cancer. They're not... it's 14 degrees, so it's not close, but it's flanking Cancer. And we also have Venus in Gemini retrograde at this time. And Venus is really slowing down because Venus goes direct on the 25th of June. Fabulous, because right now, during this solar eclipse, we have 6 planets in retrograde. The 24th, Neptune goes retrograde, and it has been hanging around at 20 degrees of Pisces for what seems like forever. So we have all these retrograde planets, right? And we have all this feminine energy. And these retrograde is almost like regression, right? Going back. It's like past life regression. So there's a sense of the past during this, revisiting the past during this solar eclipse. And solar eclipse can be very intense, and it's interesting. Try to find out where 0 degrees Cancer lies in your chart. You can get free charts in lots of places online. Just Google free natal charts, and it'll come up. If you know the time and place of where you were born, the exact time, you'll be able to pull up your chart. And you can always join my astrological group, and I'll put the link in the show more description below, because we'll be going over that sometime between now and Saturday. I'll be doing a live feed in that group, and we'll go over where 0 degrees Cancer is for you guys. We'll actually talk about that. And that's a private group, so you do have to ask permission. You have to answer a couple of questions, and you have to agree to our rules. So I hope you join us there. Now, at this time also, we have these 3 planets hanging out, Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. But Pluto and Jupiter are very close together. They're conjunct. So that energy, it's like it's regenerating. It is Pluto is about breaking things down. It's about power. It's about and Jupiter is about benevolent, bigger, better, more expansion, right? Pluto they're hanging out in Capricorn. This is about governments. I don't really do mundane astrology, which is about global influences. We know what's happening right now. We know that we're going through this whole Black Lives Matter, and the power dynamics are changing, and the police are being exposed for all the terrible atrocities that their megalomania has. I don't want to say it as I don't want to generalize, but we have seen videos of these atrocities, and they're shocking, and I really don't want to focus on that. And I think it's very important, right? I think it's really important for us to do the work, to look. We've had this pandemic. We have been restricted. We have been locked in. We have been forced to look at things, and a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people are changing. We must adapt. This beautiful divine feminine energy is nurturing ourselves, nurturing others, finding ways that we can go forward in this new world, right? That has changed completely. Things won't be the same as they were. Some things will be better, some things may not for a while. But we have to find our place within this world. And history has proven again and again, any species that can adapt are the ones that survive. So we shouldn't hang on to anything. It's interesting because eclipses are usually, we see things, we are shown things, but this is definitely going within. So it is self-awareness. It is almost like this nurturing energy that's kind. We must be kind to ourselves. We must be kind to others. We are going to feel this compassion. We're going to feel this sensitivity to other energies. Cancer is sometimes Cancer is so sensitive that they retreat and don't come out. But this wonderful divine feminine energy we are going to take into our hearts, and we are going to be able to nurture ourselves within. We're going to be able to find our place in the world, and then this beautiful energy will have transformed us in some way and will pour out into the world. And we need that wonderful divine energy. As I've said, we're going to find it going forward quite challenging at times with Mars in Aries. It's very there's a lot of social unrest will most likely happen going forward. Now I want to talk about the Mercury retrograde. Excuse me. Mercury goes retrograde in Cancer, and it goes direct on July 12th. So it's going to be in Cancer for a while. So our thoughts are very nurturing. Our communication can be very nurturing, but with, let me see when Mars. So Mars moves into Aries at the end of the month, and then, you know, Mars in Aries is very strong. He's the, you know, he's the soldier. He's very outgoing. He's the, you know, he's going to defend what's right and what's righteous, and he can be reactive. So we need to practice restraint towards the end of the month. And acting from an emotional place, because Cancer's very emotional. Now, Neptune will go retrograde in Pisces and will not go direct until the end of November. So Neptune will be going backwards. So we will be revisiting the past. There's definitely an energy of the past, you know, revisiting the past, looking at what's happened in the past. You know, this whole civil rights, all this activism is very reminiscent of the 60s. These are protests around the world. So it's very intense energy. And listen, eclipses are intense anyway at the best of times, but this is really going to affect the globe. Because it's a world axis degree, this will have a ripple effect for perhaps a year. We're going to feel this eclipse and this energy. When this eclipse happens, it's really important to have an intention. So write an intention now. What do you intend to do? How do you intend to be? Go within. Meditate. And I always say this, everyone who's watched my videos before, I'm always saying meditate, connect with spirit, with your guides, with God, with angels, however you describe, or your deity or your belief system. Now is the time to connect. And you have this wonderful intuitive energy coming in with Cancer. You'll be able to, you know, read people's energies. And you may, you know, with Mercury retrograde, we do have to be careful of how we communicate. We must double check our texts before we text. We must double check our emails. We must go over any kind of writing 2 or 3 times to make sure that we haven't made any mistakes, because mistakes are made and people can misconstrue what you say, misinterpret. You can also do that with others. And in this, you know, Cancer energy, we can be very sensitive and perhaps, you know, retreat or get hurt. And towards the end of the month, with Aries going, with Mars going into Aries, we could react in, you know, out of anger or emotion. So we have to kind of be the calm in the storm, guys. We'll have a reprieve around, a lot of us will, around the 20th of December, when Jupiter and Saturn are conjunct in Aquarius. So that's something to look forward to. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. But first, before I go, I too am restructuring my life. I've taken some time off, as most of you know, those of you who've been around, and I want to thank you guys for being so patient and sticking around while I go through my process of awareness and how I want to proceed, because it will be different for me. And therefore for you. So I am just going to pull a card and say what would be lovely for us to know at this time. What card will help us? Okay, so we have 3 cards. I do love that. The first card is the 2 of Wands. I love this card, the Two of Wands. Can you see it? Hold on. Oh, there you go. Two of Wands. That's a nice. This is a beautiful. These are the Morgan Greer tarot cards. And the Two of Wands, he's holding like what looks like a globe in his hand. And that's like the world is his oyster. The world is in the palm of his hands. And that's what this eclipse is like. It's like we have this wonderful, nurturing, divine female energy coming into our hearts. And we can open our hearts to receive that and then pour out into the world our heart's desire. So this, I feel that this is such a positive eclipse for most. And that's definitely an indication of that. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. And this is about deprivation. And a lot of people are going through deprivation right now, lost their jobs, they, can't pay the bills. And there's help out there for that. There are always resources. When the Five of Pentacles comes into a reading, it's almost like it's that fear of not having enough and not being able to manage, and it's very real for some, I know that. But there's the antidote to feeling deprived and so feeling out in the cold and not part of is gratitude. And we can be grateful for the sun, the plants outside, the warm weather, the flowers, a little warm breeze, whatever it is that you can find gratitude for, because being grateful attracts more gratitude. When you start to look at the positive in everything, life turns around. And I can tell you that from personal experience. I know when you're feeling this, it's hard to come out of it, but it can be just a little tiny thing. Search for something to be grateful for. And the more you search for that, and the more gratitude that you practice, the more things you will see to be grateful for. And then all of a sudden, you're kind of in abundance. Find something to be grateful for and attract more things to be grateful for. And the next card is the Three of Pentacles. This is about teamwork. It's about working with others. It's about listening to people. Even if you think that they're not experienced or they're not as knowledgeable as you, or as smart as you, or as intelligent as you, everyone has their expertise, no matter how, maybe they're not educated, but they have an expertise maybe in an area that you don't. So when this comes in, it's saying, hear everyone, listen to it, because you might learn something new and you might find help where you wouldn't normally go for it, and you might not even consider listening to someone. But when this comes up, it's saying it's time to be a team player. It's time to listen to others, perhaps not talk so much, but hear what people have to say. And I feel that this is what this eclipse is about. It really is about going within. It's about being quiet. It's about listening. And that's why I say meditation, because, I say prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening. So the world is in the palm of your hands, guys. This is a big new start. What do you want to start? How do you want to be going forward? I've spent the last month really going within and really searching for that and looking for answers and knowing that I couldn't continue the way I was going. It wasn't sustainable. So I've had to reevaluate everything. Like most of us during this pandemic, we've had to reevaluate, our priorities. What is important to us? How can we adapt going forward? Everything's going digital. So perhaps that's where you can find your place, your path going forward. Guys, I hope to see you in my astrology group, and I wish you all an incredible weekend, a wonderful eclipse. I hope that you are able to get the most out of this wonderful divine feminine energy. Please don't forget to like this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and comment. I'd love feedback. I'd love your feedback and comments. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. What else? Oh, yes, and share this video. It would really help me out. I would really appreciate that on any kind of social media platform or with friends and family. I love you all, and I'll see you at the full moon.